Great. All right. And you're back up. Missing about what? 2 more people? Back? Okay, cool. You are recording. Record. All right. Morning again, everybody. All right, I want to begin by just doing one thing first, right? So, all right, just quick show of hands, those who have seen my content or see anything I've done already. Great. So you will understand why I'm doing this, right? Just extended from what Lisa Ann did. I'd like to give you this as a prize for wearing yellow. And this, I think, is the ideal book. This is one of the best books you could read on personal branding by Dr. Terry Carell Reed, which I love. Yes, it's an excellent book. So thank you very much. There's still one more prize to win. It depends on how much you participate. Just saying. I like to reward awesomeness. So I love the yellow. I don't think I have one in that like bright neon shade. I have like 3 others or 4, but
you need to get one of these.
I don't have it in the bright neon. I have like a pale textured, a gold and yellow textured, like slightly to this, and then I have like a kind of weird khaki mix yellow kind of thing. It's no, saffron is the right color to say. So cool. So yeah, you all ready, right? You know the only thing I should have mentioned to them, you should actually I should have said you should get like your laptops. Because like literally what I'm going to show you is exactly what I do for my clients, as in build out your entire LinkedIn profile for you. Anybody have their laptops with them? Oh, you could do a lot of it from your phone, right? And then I'll give everybody a little bonus, which is one of the most important things a lot of people neglect on their LinkedIn profile, which is making sure you have an awesome banner. I hate not seeing profiles without banners. Like, it's the biggest real estate, folks. So you ready?
Yes.
Nice. So there's just a little bit about me in terms of some of the companies and stuff I've done training with. But just to give a little background, right? I know listeners appreciate this. This is not like branding. I am obsessed with the color yellow. It's a difference. So like, and it's been like that since I was 5 years old. When I went into primary school, the house to put me in was Savio, and I said that's my favorite color. Like, that's the whole story. It's not about branding or anything. This was just by accident, and I was like, I love this. Like, all shades are yellow. So, and just how much you could trick me, you could literally say, especially because I'm a big fan of yellow sneakers. Like, I think I'm close on 30 now, or a little more. But like, you could literally say, Jared, there's a place that sells yellow stuff, but it's in a crime hotspot. And they only open at 2 a.m. And I'll be like, so 1:30 we going down, right? Because I wouldn't care. I'll literally be like, hey, Mr. Gunman, just point the direction of where they say this place that they sell yellow, because I don't care. I'm that obsessed. You can literally trick me. Like, I remember a time, like, I'd like to, like, the only thing I don't have yellow is my car, because I just don't want people knowing where I am. And then there was a day where a friend messaged me, like, I was home, I was tired, and a friend messaged me, Jared, which party is it? I just want to drop something for you. And I was like, oh God, I'm not really feeling to talk, entertain anybody. And then she sent a picture of those yellow notebooks, and I sent my location. I told her, this is my car license plate number. You'll see it outside. I was like, you could be coming to kill me, and I'll be completely oblivious. I just saw a picture of yellow notebooks, and I was like, yes, please. But the branding has served me so well that it just proves that in the back of my mind, like, I have this thing where I know it makes sense to me. And as Isan said, I don't care if it doesn't make sense to anybody else. Like, that's the hardest thing I think for a lot of you all to understand. And I'll say this particularly for women because she mentioned it earlier. It's really important for you all to build your personal brand versus men, because we have an upper hand. Like, it's way more important for you all than us. So please take the step and make it and build your personal brand. Good? So I wanted to show this because I think this was important. Daniel Sarandi asked a really good question, which was, do you really get opportunities on LinkedIn? And my community answered. Everybody was just answering, yep, opportunities. And I know all these people who know they got their opportunities. All. Vishal lives in Canada, migrated with his job and everything. Christiana, 11 years, through LinkedIn. So the main reason I want you to focus on this is that I do not think that we utilize it enough. And where the job market is going right now, we can learn a lot of international opportunities. As in, you either migrate or you get remote work, which means you get paid really good. And the beauty about it is, a lot of companies have this thing right now, which is DIE. I don't know if you've heard about it. And diversity, inclusion, and the other I can't remember what the whole thing is. But here's the beauty about it. It works for us as Caribbean people because it matches us. And we're very well educated. So guess what? We match and tick all their boxes. So they'll literally be like, hey, we need somebody to fit in. And just because you're present on LinkedIn, you can. So the whole goal that I want out of this is not only just to make sure that you utilize it for you, but like, if you stick with it, and Lisanne mentioned it, like with the consistency, like 6 months you'll see something happening. It's that awesome. My best story came from somebody from one of the big four here in Trinidad. Because she was working in a company, she was working in Ernst & Young. Reached out to me and said, listen, I'm looking for differences. I think I've reached the ceiling here, but I don't want to leave yet. I want to wait till November because that's when we get bonuses, etc. So I don't want to leave. I was like, yeah, understandable. Did her resume, did her LinkedIn profile. No, you understand the logic, right? You don't want to leave immediately, especially when you have opportunity to get, and it's not like you don't want to leave because you're upset with the company. You're just leaving because you need to grow, which is where a lot of us are. So the thing about it is, in 6 months' time, she called me. This is November, and I always remember this. She's like, Jared, he's like, you won't believe it. She's like, Deloitte in Belgium reached out to me. They just flew me out there, and they offered me a job, and they're offering to migrate me and my entire family. And I'm like, help me out. What's the purpose of this call? Please tell me you signed it already. She's like, no, yeah, I signed it already. Like, we go in. It's like, I just need you to do my husband's profile now. Like, it works. The attention on this profile is insane. And the other thing I mentioned too, like, one of the reasons why I know what I do works, especially for how I do it in a certain way, a CEO would come up to me and tell me every single thing that I've done on LinkedIn. They don't engage. They don't ever click like and post. They hardly ever do that. But they look at it with detail. And I'm talking about they'll come back and tell me, hey, how was the trip to Jamaica? Hey, I saw you doing this. Like, they'll talk about you in detail about what you do. So if you're not visible, you're really not visible because you're not going to get those opportunities because they are spending the time looking at this platform. So I personally don't care about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, none of them. LinkedIn. All my business, everything I've done as my career, and I have a six-figure business now, is LinkedIn. I don't prospect. I don't reach out to customers. People reach out to me because what I'm doing on the platform. And it will work. You just have to be consistent with it. Deal? I know that's the hardest thing. So you could be consistent. Pinky swear? Good. No, saying you're serious because you're always laughing and be like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, I don't be surprised anymore when somebody tell me something happened. And I'll give you so many stories. So, like, you all know Zalima Charles, who used to dance for Marshall? She's one of the dancers for Marshall. I told her to start creating content in particular and putting stuff out there. And then she stopped after a while. I'm like, yo, what happened? She's like, I got too much opportunities. And then I had to reshift the whole business. So just working on a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, you mean you got opportunities? So I'm posting and being like, what? And she was posting fitness stuff. Please don't miss the opportunity of what's happening on this platform right now. So we're going to focus on these three things: optimizing, connecting, and content. The last one I know is going to be difficult for a lot of people, but this is where all the rewards come from. You could do these two. You could actually do this one, which will help, because this is what the client who did who's in Belgium now. But if you do this, that's the absolute differentiator out of everything. Content. That's why you see my phone up here. You might see my social media person come just now to grab as many pieces of content as possible. I recorded Lisanne when she was talking there, and I'm going to edit that video and put it out for her because content is what makes the difference. A lot of companies I've noticed now, and Lisanne, you said so many things which I love. A lot of you all have your ACCA and all your qualifications and everything, right? Companies are hiring based on your fit because you all have it. So what do I need to understand? How do you fit into my organization? And if you don't have anything out there about you, it's hard. You go back to competing in a resume pile. You lose when it competes in a resume pile. Good? So, I think, have anybody done this already? I think you were at the ICATT conference, right? So you understand the importance of this. Because when recruiters go on to LinkedIn or anybody who's searching about you, they go to Google first and LinkedIn is search optimized. So this comes up first. So again, if it comes up and all they have is a blank profile and your profile picture not showing and they have no banner and the job title is two underscore lines because people have that and think it's helpful, you're not going to get the opportunity. They're going to pass on. Recruiters have a short space of time. So if I can't find anything about you, there are other people. I'll just keep moving on. Right? So these are the 7 things that we're going to walk through. So the process that we're going to go through, I'm going to explain a couple of these things, everything here, and then we're going to go on to LinkedIn, and then we're going to show you exactly how it's supposed to look. And then if you're brave enough, you're going to raise your hand and let me dissect your profile and tell you exactly what you need to do. Fair? And given the time and the amount of persons, I think we could actually cover everybody. Deal? Good. So these are the things that I love. All these 7 things if you work on, and as a matter of fact, if you actually only do the first 3, you're good. Because the first 3 are the most important in order for you to get the scroll factor. In other words, somebody comes onto your profile. If you do these 3 well, they wanna pay attention to the others. If you don't, opportunity lost, they move on. Because LinkedIn has this thing, and I'll show you all. Right on the right-hand side, you'll see everybody who competes with you in terms of the exact same skill sets. They used to block it in the past and they unblock it. So again, a recruiter who's looking for somebody with your skill sets will come onto your profile and be like, oh, this is blank. Hey, look at all these other cool people here. And click, 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 click. And your opportunity is gone in 8 seconds. So here's the thing, right? Your profile picture is something everybody needs to have up. A lot of you all have it set where it's on private. So in other words, if I don't know who you are, I'm not connected to you, your profile picture doesn't show up. It shows up as just a generic gray image. You need to click on your profile picture and click visible to everyone. Everyone. The other thing is you don't need a professional profile picture. My current profile picture, even though it came from your conference, everybody here has amazing phones. Wipe your lens, stand under good lighting, and take a profile picture. And if you want, everybody should take a picture today because everybody looks incredibly dressed today. So you all should do it if you haven't updated it. Because that picture from when you graduated in 2004 is outdated. No, but you're laughing. So here's the thing. You get an interview, and then when the person pops onto Zoom and the camera on, they're like, this? You look different. So update it. Okay? It's important. That consistency in the image is what makes a difference. And as I said, you don't need to get a professional headshot. Professional headshots now are like incredible demand. You're probably paying about $800 to $900 for a professional headshot. It's worth it, incredibly worth it. But if you don't have the money, take your phone out, wipe the lens, stand in front, natural light, and snap the picture from your shoulder up. That's your LinkedIn profile picture. Cool? Lovely. Your headline now, which is where a lot of people miss out on the opportunity, is that you'll leave it way too generic, right? Your headline on LinkedIn is searchable. So in other words, I don't need to know your name to know what skill sets you have. I could search based on skill sets alone and find the individual. That's how recruiters start off. So they start off looking for persons with the skill sets in the different filters that LinkedIn has, and then they're able to find you. So here's the little secret. Compared to every other social media platform, LinkedIn is the only one where it's incredibly segmented. So in other words, if you only want to connect with CEOs, you can literally just find only CEOs on LinkedIn. You can filter and search by that alone. You cannot do that on any other platform. So you want to make sure that your headline kind of has a combination of your tagline first, and then it talks about the different job descriptions. I think I have an example here. Right, so check this out. I pull this one up. This is Vinod Singh. This is Vinod's profile. Understand what I mean? Finance and accounting professional. Tells me nothing. This is how a lot of people are on LinkedIn. So your opportunity is gone. No profile picture, no banner. If your profile is done optimized, this is what it should look like. That's a simple AI image. That's not really Vinod, if you're looking for him. That's not him. That's not him. Calm down, that's not him. He is very mysterious. I Google search and I found one picture and I could tell it was outdated because it was last updated in 2015. But again, if you're searching for opportunities, it's going to be hard because what you'll be left with now is that you're not using all the channels to find the opportunities, because now you're probably spending more time networking, which is the manual way, where you can also find people who want your skill sets from people who you haven't even expected. That client who I was talking about who was in Belgium, their thought wasn't even on international, you know. Like, think about that. You don't know who have their eyes on you and will literally say, I like your vibe. I like the last post you wrote about this X and Y. I like what I'm seeing. Let's reach out to her. You have to put yourself out there. And let me ask this. How many of you are uncomfortable with putting yourself out there? Uncomfortable. All right, let me explain to you the definition of what I consider content. I put out a lot of stuff. On average, last year I did about 376 pieces of content. This year I think I've already reached 180 or 190 or something like that. I post nothing about my family, nothing about any personal stuff. I post about work and what I do. So if you're worried about putting yourself out there, I'm not saying put your address, talk about your kids. I'm not even looking at that. I want you to talk about what you're really good and skilled at, because that's what you're here for on LinkedIn. Is to make sure that internally I can either get that promotion or the company that I want to hire me is going to hire me, who's reaching out for my services. You don't need to talk about yourself personally at all. Nobody needs to know anything about you. They really just care about what you can help them with. So don't stress about putting yourself out there. So if you look at this, right? So pay attention to this now with the examples, right? On LinkedIn, this is important. When people search you, this is what shows up first, which is why I believe your tagline should be important more than what your actual titles are for the industries that you want to serve in. Because when I pull you up on search for the first time, I'll show you, you see this first. You don't want to see the person's title, it doesn't give you context. You want to create curiosity when you see the individual's information. So the first 55 characters show up here. So you could see already he's positioning himself C-level executive. Because his last role was in BP, I think, as a financial controller. So I'm assuming it's higher up as well that he's aiming for. And again, these titles will be the same similar titles that they're looking for in the industry, because I did a quick search for energy sector and finance, and these were the titles. So understand how we're angling it, right? So the same thing you can do. What is your tagline? And then what are the areas in terms of the job descriptions technically, or the titles in terms of what you want to do? No. As a like, think about it. Companies think they own your LinkedIn profile. They don't. I'm not paying anything for any company I'm working for. Like, you shouldn't. Unless like the company big you up first, then I might return the favor. So if your company is never mentioned on your page, why are you mentioning them? Like, there's no, like, you can, because by the way, he didn't have it here, but at the bottom here, if you did it, you would see the company you're currently working for. It does not have to be in the headline. It should not be in the headline, because that's taking up valuable real estate space. Unless you have like a super important title. So like LinkedIn has a preference for C-level executives, but even then you don't necessarily need to put I'm CEO of BP, really. They will automatically tell based on what you have filled out on your account already. So you don't need to put all those things, right? What you should really be focused on is making sure that who's ever looking at this is intrigued and wants to learn more. So if you fill out on what I call like the C aspect, you get the scroll factor. So immediately, if you feel uncomfortable, this is all about branding. I want to make sure you see my face first. Google ran a study that they said most people read their pages from right to left. So I want to make sure that you see something that catches your eye. You see what my aspect is in terms of the value that I bring. Then you see my face again, you see my name, then you see what I bring. You literally fill out the C, and then you get more people to scroll and look at your profile. Good so far? And feel free to interrupt here. I know I speak fast sometimes, but I get really excited when I talk about LinkedIn. It just, no, I get like, I don't know.
No, what's interesting, like you say, companies don't own your profile, right? Because right now my banner is a firm banner, in line with firm rules and...
I know, because it's making sign these social media guidelines. Like there's one institution I know right now, like it's so sad, like their rules are so restrictive, and like their staff is like, how they treat it is horrible. Like, would turn anybody off from even wanting just to be on the profile. Like I'm talking about, there's one of their staff members just literally posted something about toxic leadership. Like they repost something. This is on a Sunday, and the next manager called to tell the manager, you need to tell him, take that down. I'm like, I'd have been like, you don't own my profile, bro. Like, but again, they sign their social media guidelines and they have their stuff, but it's just sad. But yeah, they don't own it. They don't. And I'll put it to you this way, right? The kind of opportunities you're looking for, and I'll be so bold to say it doesn't match who you are right now in terms of your brand and what you want to do. Because I had one, and I'll give a good shout out to a company who I think like their HR people is like some of the best, is like Unicoma. Their HR team is like some of the most modern, mellow people. Like they don't care. They'll be like, yeah, you could put a banner, the company banner, you'll give it out. If you don't put another banner, no problem. Just put your working for Unicoma in the experience. Like that's all benchmark. Right? They trust the employees enough to know that they won't post something that's going to be detrimental to the company. Like that's the minimum requirement you should have. And you want your employees to be opinionated because it shows off the culture of the organization. So they don't own your profile. Right? Tell them hard luck on that. So if you're constructing your banner, first rule, when you go on Canva to make your banner, Canva allows you to create your LinkedIn photo. Do not, just for my sanity, this is a real selfish ask, do not use the white background with the keyboard and the cup of tea. It is overused. So when you click on it, I need you to scroll for about 3 minutes until you reach that section and then start picking from there. Everything in the first 10 has been overused. And again, you want to make sure you catch the individual's attention. So what I want you to put is, and the sizing is important, you could put your name, keep it small, put your same tagline, and put the same skill sets. The whole purpose of this is to catch the person's attention. Use a very clean, simple font. I know sometimes you like to use big cursive and all these things, but again, I'm looking at this on a mobile device because 50% of people on LinkedIn do. So you want to make sure whether it's a big screen or a small screen, I could see and understand everything that you do. This part here is important. Nothing in the bottom left. And if you're using the margins, and I'll show you all this on Canva, bring this margin to 550. On 550, once everything stays up in front of this, it doesn't get blocked by a profile picture or anything like that. So in a safe category, whether you're using Android device or iOS device, doesn't matter, you'll be safe. Oh, when you're on Canva, you could put margins, so you could put stuff correct, drag the vertical margin to 550 so that it doesn't, when you put it at 550, it makes sure that anything behind here as your benchmark doesn't get blocked by your profile picture. It keeps it nice and clean. All right, and then you could use sites like FreePic. Canva has expanded it a lot, but you could use like a theme background in terms of what you want, in terms of what you do, and kind of put it faded, and then you could put your description. Same thing similar in terms of what I did for Vinu, because you notice it's oil and energy sector. I was trying to find one with like a little dollar sign to show the finance, but that was hard. I couldn't find anything yellow. It's like, because you know that a lot of the slides are yellow. It's another important thing. The about section now. Yeah, I told us it's not, remember, it's not branding. I'm just obsessed. Obsessed. Right. So here's the thing, a lot of people make the mistake with the about section. I checked this in a survey and I've seen it before. Your about section only shows the first 4 lines. In order for people to click see more, it has to be interesting. So your first 4 lines can't be experience or diligent and hardworking or any of those waste of time generic words. What I want you to put and be focused on is, what do I bring to the table? Like, think about this. Think about who you want to hire, who you want to work for, and thinking yourself, what would I tell this person? I'll make this person say, yes, I need to learn more. I need to click see more. It has to be what you bring to the table. So like you can even go so bold as to say, listen, my role in organizations is helping them save minimum $10 million in tax every single year. And I've done so with the organizations that I've worked with, following these set of guidelines and principles of right? Over the years, not only have these companies come to rely on me, but the partners who we have in our organization have been put onto me to ensure that they could get some of these same tax saving benefits, because their specialty is tax law, right? And you understand it to the detail. So if your organization is looking for somebody with these skill sets to help them deliver these to the customer, this is where I'm really strong and good at. My background in terms of how I built it stems from coming in this industry, that industry, and my education attributes are boom, 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 boom. Reach out and DM me if you're interested in learning more. Don't beat around the bush. Short to the point. Do not use the word experience. If I see the word experience in a about section, I know you click the AI help on LinkedIn. Like I know it, because that's what it does. Everything just begins with experience. And I'm telling you, every recruiter will just roll past and they might get them off of your profile. Whereas they need something to catch their attention. So if you could put something like, especially with your milestones, if you could quantify a figure in those first 4 lines, you have a higher chance of getting them to look at the rest of the profile and click more of the about section. Good? I'll send you a listen hard copy as well, don't stress. But you can take the notes. Any questions on this one?
4 lines, is it?
No, you only see the first 4 lines. You have to get their attention in the first 4 lines. So let me give you a bonus, right? I usually ask my clients a series of questions that helps me build out their LinkedIn profile, right? In order how I get the about section done, I take your resume, and then I tell ChatGPT to say, hey, craft a LinkedIn about section for me, and I want you to focus on the first 4 lines being an attention grabber based on the milestones and the accomplishment listed on the resume and what the person answered, right? Then I want the second paragraph to be their milestones and their past work history, and then the third paragraph is a call to action. And they put it out for me, and then I edit that based on what I know the style of the individual is. You don't have to write everything by scratch for yourself. Like, use technology to your advantage. Like, it literally just spits it out in 30 seconds. But upload your resume, upload the experience section, upload any amount of information that you have on you, because they might have publications and stuff, and put it in there, and it'll give you something that they could work on as the foundation. Good so far? Nice. Here's the other section that we don't utilize, your featured section. This goes right under the about section. So the featured section allows you to pin a post, or you could put a document like a PDF in terms of, and I'll show you from one of my clients, she has a capabilities deck in terms of everything that she does, because she's in the procurement sector. So she has it broken down by the procurement services, the project management services and everything. So like all of us here are not just specific in one like niche field of accounting or finance. You have probably several. You could create a capabilities deck and upload it to LinkedIn as a PDF document. Right? I have a link here if you want to schedule or call with me or anything like that. But this section allows you to put so many different things that highlight you. So if you have any publication in the papers from probably receiving an award, employee of the year, anything, you could upload that into this section as well. Right? And this comes before the experience section, so that's why it's important. Good so far? You're sure? Nice. So the experience section now, I don't like when people just copy and paste your job description, because we all know what you do in your job and what is on the job description is 2 different things. So what you should be listing is a short opening sentence. So I'll go specific on this. In any past job that you have, put the short opening sentence about what you accomplished in that role. So I was in charge of doing X and Y, and this was the outcome you achieved. Then you can quantify the role in probably 2 or 3 of the things that you did. So instead of just saying process documents or handle documents, it should be saying process on average 1,500 documents per month for the customer in terms of delivering this result. It should be quantified, and you don't need to put the exact number. Estimation is perfect, right? Then you can list some of the milestones there as another option instead of quantifying the role, and then it could list the skills utilized, because LinkedIn gives you a section where you can list the skills, which helps in your findability on the platform. Right? At the bottom, same like how we had the featured section, you can attach awards, you can attach links to the company site. I think this is underestimated because the only disadvantage we have being in the Caribbean is that they might only be familiar with the big 4 accounting firms. So there are other lots of great small accounting firms. If your company has a website, drop it in there so they could find it. If you have any PDF documents with anything the company does, drop it in there for you as well. There's no limit. But I won't tell, the only thing I'll tell you is don't list 10 and 15 different things in a job description. 3 to 5 is your max. The 3 to 5 most important things that you know the company will care about. If in your current role right now, I want you to use the same short sentence and just talk quickly about what I'm hired to do in the organization. Simple. Because again, LinkedIn only shows the first 2 lines in the experience section, so you want to show what people actually care about to make them click more. Think about it as a teaser to a movie. You could see the preview and be like, not going and see it, or you'll go movie tongue and see it. right? Next one, and this goes twofold, right? You have a recommendation section at the bottom of LinkedIn, which is great because you can get people to give you recommendations based on what you have done. But I wanted to do an additional step. If you can, you could get a video testimonial from the person and you could actually put it in the featured section of your profile because that's high up. For some reason, this is at the bottom of your profile. Like, I don't think anybody scrolls all the way to the bottom of your profile. If you're looking for a job, they more look at it on the service side if you're providing services on the platform. So here's what I want you to do. When you get a recommendation from somebody on LinkedIn, I want you to tell them what's right for you. So if you're reaching out to a peer or your previous boss, be instructional in what you want them to say. Because if you just say, write me a recommendation, they'll either write a little of nothing or a lot of nothing. It's okay to tell them, hey, can you write me a recommendation and highlight this, this, and this for me in terms of your experience working with me or me working for you or vice versa. So it makes it easier for them to write out something. And I learned that from a CEO. Because the CEO said, hey, I trust you. So whatever you write, I'll just look it over, edit it, and I'll just post. But guide the individuals. At least 3 things that they want them to talk about that you know a future employer would care about. Good so far? Nice. So here's a couple of don'ts, right? And you'll go through this. Even though this is I used to say this before for like only men, but like I have proof now. It's both genders just using it like Tinder. Yeah, right? It's literally what it is, right? Don't over tag on posts unless you know the post is actually active and they're going to respond. LinkedIn is really specific with their algorithm. So they penalize posts if you over tag. They penalize posts if they have external links in it. Yeah. You could put an image with like your text-based stuff in it, or they have a text algorithm reader as well. So if they see a flyer and they could tell like it's a promotion stuff, they will penalize that content too. So in other words, they won't show it to anybody. They'll show it to a very little percentage of your audience, right? So there's the other one which your company won't like, because a lot of people have their company page and you see an email, share this post that we had on LinkedIn. That does not give any benefit to you, so I don't recommend you do it. I'll give you another way to do it which is beneficial to you, which is adding your context to the message. So who here reads external articles from your different sources, industries, inside, right? Don't just reshare it to LinkedIn. Take the picture that most likely comes to that web link, post that picture, and then write your context about what you thought about the article, and then in the comments you could put the link and just give credit to where the image came from or the source. Don't just reshare. If you notice, for anybody who, and let me ask you, anybody's ever done that on LinkedIn before? Like share because they saw an article online, they thought it was good, they reshared it? Right. You got any high engagement from it? Right. Your context is important. So even for when LinkedIn tell you share something from a company page, it will give you nothing. Plagiarize it, but give it credit. Grab the image and put your own context set. But essentially what you're doing, listen, because remember, all it does, right? And remember, this is a thing a lot of people don't realize. When you share the image, it usually gives you a prompt of like a paragraph or more from it, right? But that's not your words. So when somebody click it, it's not giving you the advantage to show you as the expert. Remember, the purpose of being on the platform is to position yourself. So if all you're doing is sharing content, anybody could share content. I want your context to the content. I want to understand how you think this applies to the Caribbean market, or how this applies to the manufacturing sector in Trinidad, or how you think this is going to impact the oil industry based on the news. So like, and again, I think you all have seen it. So like Mala Dukaran always posts and put her context in a newsletter. Like, you talk about international situations, but you talk about how it impacts. We could all do it. And the other factor is, those companies already have an established name. Why are you giving them more clout? Start to build yours. I don't ever like to give any international thing credit. Like I have a bias right now, like especially with content. I hate hearing music and content because I'm like, these people are rich. I'm not. So I'm not giving you credit in the music to get more money. Like somebody else could do that. I'm making sure my voice gets known. And that's what you need to do. Good so far? Lovely. Next step now is you talk about connecting. And I'll pause on the screen because when you go onto the platform, I'll show you how you connect, because the important part is showing you how to find people, but the connecting part is important. It's not only about being on the platform, it's about making sure that you connect with the right persons on the platform. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, how you're doing it is 2 simple ways. Write down this thing called Boolean search because it's going to help you in your job search as well. Boolean. I'll share a link to a video as well. Boolean search is how you search on LinkedIn. It allows you to get specific searches. Because I don't know if anybody's done a search on LinkedIn and it doesn't really pull up the exact thing. It gives you way too much information. Boolean allows you to niche the search. And especially when you're job hunting, which I'm sure a lot of you have tested out on LinkedIn, you don't need to see 15,000 positions. You need to see the top 100. And you could do that with the search. Give me 1 minute. I need to grab some water. Hold on. You thought the banner was joker. This is my client Massey Distribution in Ghana gave this to me. Look at this. Like, how can I not use this every day of my life? It's like they understood the call, like they went and find this. They got special preferences. Here's the other thing. Who you connect to is important. So going forward from today, and I'll make this very clear, you need to discriminate who you connect with. If they do not serve your purpose, if you do not know them, you have no reason to connect with them. Plain and simple. If somebody sends a connection request, ask a simple question. Do I know them? Can this person possibly help me? Are they even working for a company that I want to work for? And if not, ignore. Don't feel bad about it. People probably ignore your connection request as well. So you need to make sure and serve your purpose and fill your network with the people who are like-minded and the people who could help you with regards to your goals. Don't feel bad. Trust me, they would ignore your connection request too. You'll be like, I don't want to connect with anybody in finance or accounting. Click, ignore. I could see the awkward silence. Trust me, it works. It's really important to be self-serving because you might be like, oh, well, who's this person? Because you have a lot of them connecting to you from India and all these other countries just on volume. Like, who's this person? If you have to ask that question, why are you connecting? Like, just click ignore. And by the way, when you click connect, the person automatically follows you, which is a difference because people can follow you and connect. So if I click connect with somebody, I automatically follow them. So even if you ignore it, that person will still see your content. It's a win for them. They're not losing out. You're not blocking them. You're just not accepting the connection request. That is it. I don't know. A lot of people there waste your time. And a lot of people do it for numbers to say I have a large following. But I connect with people. Like right now, I'm connecting with a lot of people out of Jamaica because that's an area I want to do more business in. So that's my self-serving. Like if anybody is not from there, I honestly not really clicking the connection request accept. Like it has to be self-serving, right? But at the same time too, you see some people connected to you and they can tell up pictures coming. And by the way, I don't send a note in my connection request. I just send a connection request because my profile is optimized and I have a ton of content. So I know some way, somehow, you either saw my content in the feed, saw me comment on something, so something I did brought you to my profile. So I don't need to write a connection request or anything, right? So I don't put those things. I send a message afterwards. I've seen it before where when somebody includes a message in the connection request to me, even if it's customized, I know a sales pitch is coming. And customized is not, what's your name, sorry? Sasha? Customized is not, hey, Sasha, you have an awesome profile, would love to connect. That's not personalized. That's a generic connection request. And if you get that, I guarantee they come in and spam you with a pitch. Guarantee. Just prepare yourself, a pitch slap coming one time. As you click connect. Hey, Sasha! Pow! I offer these kind of services. I saw you a brilliant person who click connect. Let me show offer these services to you. That's what they do. So you want to make sure and keep it within who could serve your niche and what your circle is. So click, check out their profile, make sure they're active, make sure they commenting and doing different stuff, and then decide if you want to click accept. If not, I have another thing too as well. So this part is important, right? I have this thing on LinkedIn where I would safely say I don't think anybody in the world has it. Well, very few. So when I connect with people, I spend time and I send you a personalized video. And I know very few people have done it because I have about 7,000 personalized videos. I look at it as if I met you in real. I have to send you something just to let you know it's an actual person you're meeting with because it's a digital space. And I send an incredibly personalized response to you. Especially if you have content that I like, it gets incredibly personalized because I want to make sure that I could get value from you and you could get value from me. So here's the thing. if you do connect with somebody, especially like if you're doing a job search, I highly recommend that you send a message out to recruiters to say, hey, I'm connecting because I saw your company is hiring for these things. I'm incredibly skilled at A, B, and C. If any of those vacancies pop up, let me know. And I know this works because I had one of my clients who was migrating to Canada, followed my advice versus the standard, wait till they get there and look for a job, and landed in Canada with a job in her industry with the same level that she was at in Trinidad. Because she found the 50 company she wanted to work for and connected only with the HR managers and the CEOs and sent everybody a message saying, hey, I'm migrating. I'm really good at duh, 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 duh. If your company has any vacancies, I would love to be considered for the role. That's why it's important to not be shy. Because as we said it, men will do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. I didn't even get qualified for this role yet. I still seeing it. Boom. But very few people do it because you want to play the shy game. Shy don't make money. Shy don't get you the job that you want. Shy keeps saying that bubble of, and the son said it, how does person get promoted before me? Because you're in a bubble. But you have to ask, because my client didn't need 49, 50 people to tell her, yeah, she doesn't need one. All you have to do is just send 50 videos. One person is all who needs to respond. That is it. So good? Next, oh, by the way, I had this video, which is my funny one, which is just to show why you need to pick people who serve the intentions. I don't know if you ever saw that guy card where they choose Charles Barkley to play Charles basketball. Important. Next, why is this blank? Right, be picky. Great. The next one now is content. Right? So, how many of us here create content at all on LinkedIn? See, that's why I get the book. That's why I get the book. You don't even need to do that often. So, by the way, when I did the training for Unicoma, in less than 2 months, one of their staff got headhunted into Atlantic LNG. And she was just posting like maybe once a week or once every other week. The HR head of HR was upset, but at me. But I was like, I was probably warning out. But again, it just shows the visibility because everybody references, I was looking at your stuff on LinkedIn. The resume comes second now. Think about that. As much as you might think a resume is important, it comes second. And especially for international markets, it comes second. They want to know how you fit. They want to know everything. The content is the biggest difference. So here's my number one thing. The reason why I need to create content is that content is a filter. I've never met people who don't like me. Bad meetings have literally been zero. I don't need to spend time meeting people who don't think I'm a fit for their organization. If you think a sales trainer is supposed to be suit and tie, great, I'm not for you. If you don't like the yellow, great, not for you. Right? If you don't like my style, great, not for you, but I've never met you because the content was my barrier. My content was the access. You want people to get that, but you want to do it in the reverse. You want people to say, oh, I like your perspective. I like what you've been posting. I want to have a conversation with you because we will find somewhere for you to fit because this is what we need in our company. Because you have to be outspoken. You have to create a filter. Because a lot of you will go to interviews and you'll be like, geez, this is a horrible company. You want to keep them away. You literally want to keep them away. The next thing is, of course, it builds your personal brand. And I would look at it this way, and this is my definition of it. Personal brand depends more on consistency. The more you show up, doesn't matter what it is about, but the more you show up, consistently is what the brand is created around. Because somebody, it might not necessarily be what you wear, but it keep like, oh yeah, use the energy accounting girl. Because that's what you talk about. They just do it consistently. So it helps you build an incredibly great personal brand that stretch miles. And again, every day I get an inbound lead because of my personal brand. So like if you ever see me in a coffee shop, just know it's RI positive. I just go there to meet people. Right? Next, the other problem that I know people have with content is that they have no idea what to say, right? Lovely. We know that. You get stuck when you want to create content. Correct? Good. So let's go through this simple process. I want you, anytime you want to come up with an idea, you either record it using Microsoft Word or Google Docs, you dictate it to yourself, and then they could copy and paste and put that into chat and say, hey, can you craft this into a LinkedIn post for me? And just give me some guidance. And you can literally be specific. Do not change, only correct it for grammatical errors. Do not change the tone or the language. I want to keep at a grade 5 reading level because you want to keep it like you and your voice. You don't want them to change over the whole language and it sounds like somebody could tell you are not the person who wrote this. It's like not to knock them, but whoever posting for answer, they need to stop using the LinkedIn AI. That's why you're seeing most of their posts like, I'm thrilled, I'm happy. Nobody's that thrilled and happy for every single thing you're posting. It needs to sound like you, right? So every time I have an idea, I could drop it into Google Docs, put it into this and it works. Or the other option that I have is I write it down, which is another good option. And then the other one that I love doing is that I WhatsApp it to myself. Anybody's WhatsApp themselves? That's the way. So like my phone there, but all my content ideas, I just write down the word content and just put the idea. So every time I have to create content, I literally just go back to it and I could search. And I have that since 2017 because I don't delete anything off my phone. So I could go back to day one of whenever I came up with a content idea. And therefore, when time comes to create content, it's a little more easy because you can remember the information of what you wanted to talk about. Because a lot of the times, when we come up with a content idea, we're not in a position to fully write it down or to maximize or to spend that 30 minutes crafting it, correct? This is an easy way where you can put it into a shortcut and then post it at a later date. So and by the way, we're in front of our computers all the time, so you can literally just pop up a Google Doc, save it into your cloud, and be like, every time you have an idea, open it. All right, so let's talk about the reason why we should not be in meetings all day. And I say LinkedIn post, and they start talking about it. Chat, post on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has a scheduling app now, built in. So you can schedule a thing up to 3 to 5 posts in advance. So that Sunday, whatever day you know is your downtime, and you can put stuff together, schedule it out to post on LinkedIn. Good? Here's the other one though, because I spoke about written. Video is the most important type of content today. I don't think anybody in this room here, even though you're inside here from early, did not spend the day looking at a video first. Video has become part of our day. I'm not saying every single piece of your content has to be video, but if you get into your room where you did 10, the 10th one should be a video. It should be. People need to hear your voice and see you. Right? And by the way, a lot of these apps have built-in teleprompters. So even if it is that you can't remember everything you want to say, you could put a teleprompter built-in on the screen and you can read out what you want to say. So it could be like, I forget any of those anchors' name. I slipped my mind. Rhea Ramberly. Right. That's the only one I remember. So we good so far? Took a while to find this one too as well. Find the other ones. So simple content ideas. Because here's what I want you to think of content, right? If I call you at 3 in the morning, I wake you out of your sleep and I ask you a question about what you do, can you answer it for me? 100% accurate? No, if I wake you out your sleep, the thing that you do all day, every day, you can't answer for me like, right. That's your content. Because you, it's easy for. For me, I'll be like, you speaking Spanish. So you have to look at it as, and I'll give you the best trigger for it. If you ever ask a question and they make you say, how you don't know that? That's the content. Because I always say, if one person asks you a question, 100 people need the answer. And that's how you build your influence. So every time you get asked a question, you're supposed to be like, nah, people are supposed to know this. Great. Content idea, write it out, you can post it. That's as simple as it is. You're going to events, you can post and create content and talk about specifically what you took as the outtakes from it. But this you could do literally on a daily basis. Sorry, I know my big head blocking. Right? Here's the other one. This one I think is important because this one is the easiest one. I think a lot of persons could actually be easier writing what they're passionate about. So in other words, if I call you up here right now to say, talk about the thing you love the most, you have 15 minutes, you could do it non-stop. That's what I think you should be writing about. As crazy as it sounds. Even if it's about plants. And your knowledge of plants. And how to take care of them. Because here's the thing. Given what you'll do, a lot of the stuff that you do is confidential. So, we could, I'll pitch you this way. You could talk about the topic, but not the individual. So in other words, you could do the American thing and just strip all gender and identity. And it just make it neutral. So in other words, what you have to do is, you literally do something like, you could literally do something like, instead of just saying you're just sitting on with NFM in their yearly financial audit and you're highlighting a couple of these red flags that they commonly make mistakes on and they're still not changing, right? You're not going to say that. What you're going to say is, listen, let me tell you the top 5 mistakes that some government institutions or private institutions on the whole are still making with regard to their taxes, and it's costing them on average 3 to 4 million a year, especially when their revenue exceeds over 100 million. And nobody knows who I'm talking about, but I'm talking about the situation, which is what people care about, not necessarily the company. And again, use technology. Write the actual details in chat and say strip the identity and just give it to me where it tells the story. And that's how you get your content. So you don't have to write specifics, but we could all tell a story, which is what people want to know. And that gives you your context. Good so far? Nice. Right? So, right. So I want to move on to just showing, where is it? Am I mirroring? Great. Bing. Is it? No. This is the honor. Where did I put these? Oh no! Hold on. I think I closed these tabs in error. My bad. Right, so I'm showing you my profile. Who wants me to look at your profile and give you feedback? Great. There you go. So simple that was. You don't miss out now, you just go get coffee. Here you go. Ooh. Okay. Starbucks. Free coffee. We all need coffee. Right? Sasha, give me the full name. SEE. Hey! Right. So remember, here's the first thing, right? Remember we spoke about the opening, what people see. There's your first 45 characters. You want to make sure that people see what's the outcome or what's your tagline. I would give a slight thing saying, given the fact of your title, it's okay. But I still think you should drive with what the overall arching thing in terms of what you do. The profile picture should be more zoomed in on your face. Shoulders up. Right? And here's the reason why. Like, think about it. From here, I can't see who it is that the individual is. Right? And notice, past is already here on the side, so you don't necessarily need to put these things. I would put, as I said, the outcome. Then you could put financial controller, finance or director, and then you could put the other key titles in terms of what you do. Right? And by the way, notice I said it at the side. Look, all your competition. Look, everybody else. Trisha, James, Emily, Natasha, Jerry, look, all of them. So again, if this doesn't make me say, hey, I'm going to find everybody else. And the thing is, it's still hard to differentiate. And like Ian might get more pissed because he'll be like, oh, it's Atlantic LNG. And they'll lose out on the opportunity. They could grab everybody's attention. So like I would use a combination of, like, especially, hold on, let me just check it. I want to go down to the experience section first. Hold on. Piaco, Interchem, Piaco. Right. So a lot of it has been, oh, this is same, right?
Okay.
Right. So this, no.
Yeah, so that company was sold out of our group, and then that's another company.
And then past Trinidad was formed.
Yes.
Okay, so then we should find Piaco Services. So once you take it back and find the company page, once it's there, it will actually connect these two. So it kind of just everything flows smoothly. Because Interchem has their page as well. So what I would put, finance director, finance controller. So right, your 4 lines. Here's the thing. It's not to knock it, but the thing is, this doesn't help a company know how you can bring the value. Like, immediately lead with those 4 lines, especially from that. And I'll say it for you, you have to speak on a board level. You don't want your message to appeal to everybody. It has to just appeal to that high level of individuals. Right? This could stay, but this goes down to like your 3rd paragraph in terms of your education and your background. Right? But your opening line should be the key thing. Right? Then, as I said, the headline is here. Oh, here's one thing everybody needs to change. You have to change your URL. You could change this where it just says Sasha Silu Greaves. Yeah. So let me show you where. Hold on. Let me switch to this. So on your profile, you could go to where your picture is here. In the top right here, next to the 17. If you click that, if you click that, you can go to view profile. And if you see something called public profile and URL, you can edit that. And you can go into this section right here. And if you click the pencil, you can change it. I don't recommend leaving the hyphen, like my name is hyphenated. I don't recommend leaving it. Gabby! Right? And then you could just remove all the unnecessary numbers and just leave your name as a solid thing. Yeah. So, Gabby, no, it's here. Right. So if you look at it, right, if you go onto your home page here and you click me and you go to view profile, you will just see the public profile and URL on the side here. Yeah, and the phone right there behind. And then you could just click it and change. The other thing to change, remember I mentioned it before, if you want to go in here, your profile picture, click this, and you can do it on your mobile and just make sure it says anyone, not just all LinkedIn members or your network or your first degree, anyone. So even when I'm Googling you, your picture shows up. And you can do this on your mobile as well. Good? Right. So the other thing is, so here's one rule that I have. I don't go, like when I'm updating people's profiles, I don't go back. I don't put detail in them after 10 years. So after 10 years, I just put the 2 sentences in terms of the outcome you achieve, and that's it. Right? What's really more important is making sure that your current role is emphasized and just the most recent past role that you had, and that's it. Everything else could just be a summary sentence.